of the suite of Corki builds, I think auto attack maybe makes more sense here because they're gonna be in range of you. They're gonna close that gap. That's gonna be the way the team fight plays out. So something like a shield bow build or a Triforce build and just be an auto attacker, I think is totally reasonable here. But we're gonna see what comes out into this game. Xiaohu indeed does have the Galio first pick. He'll be all around the map.
Yeah, this is a pretty scary last pick for EG. You're picking a scaling kind of weak early lane phase into a poke champion later, but that just means Xiaohu on Galio gets to do exactly what he wants. He gets to roam around this map early on. I think that is going to be the biggest thing that EG have to answer. What are they going to do about Wei and Xiaohu early on in this game? Because those two have so much playmaking opportunity here. It's going to be a big part here for Inspire to try and get his level 6 Denial Nocturne ultimates. Need to be there early, but of course the Predator for Xiaohu, he can just walk around with Wei anyway.
I mean, if you get to that late game though, holy moly, do EG have a lot in the tank. GP, Corki, Crit Zai, like you have a ton of damage. So if you can try and slow down the pace of the game here for EG and allow yourself to scale into that point, it feels like when you get to team fights, they just have so much bang for their buck.
Well, if you want some NA Hopium, I talked with Emily before the show. She's like, yeah, even if it's a 3-0 for RNG, all of the games are going to be over 30 minutes long. She's like, RNG's going to play it slow, they're going to play it calm, they're going to play it collected. And it's like, well, if you pick scaling, 30 minutes is, when you're kind of coming online. So we'll see what's going to happen here. RNG now the favorites to win the tournament. They have won the Rumble stage. They are looking to be their 3rd trophy here at MSI. Evil Geniuses in their first international showing, hoping to be the upset.
I'm so excited to see how this one's going to pan out. It does feel like, EG were so close to being able to take down RNG in that game. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to do kind of right the wrongs of history as Impact.
Good positioning though, right? Gets him very far from the wall. He's using Predator. That's going to be a taunt, and that's going to be a pretty good amount of crowd control. However, because he's by the wall, a flash for an anchor. That's 2 flashes. Okay, just 1 for 1 ultimately. But Ming trading his for Impact means top is very attackable.
Yeah, Impact did also have to start oranges as well to get out of the taunt there, but does come up on the Summoner spell. Maybe it will be punishable on bottom side. We'll see. Nocturne generally is a full clear champion. The other thing that we need to point out is that with that invade, not only did they trade flashes there, but they also got the ward down. You can see up top on Krugs.
Yep.
So if Inspired does the kind of natural red start, full side clear there, will be seen as he goes over to Krugs, and they'll get the timer on the first spawn.
Yeah, see Ming here with the sweeper just going to take out that one at Raptor, so you'll actually try and hide where Wei's starting out. More than likely you'll know anyway, just because Gal is low on mana, that they have started on the bot side, but at least trying to give Wei as much clearance on his path as possible.
He's heading towards, looks like Raptor's here for himself as well. I want to point out that Xiaohu did share ward XP. He's getting level 2 off of the very first wave, despite starting boots and starting taunt. As long as he was in range for all this, he'll hit level 2 right off these 3 casters. But as Jojo Pion is attacking the next part of the wave, he'll hit level 2 first anyway. Keeps that spike going. Ben, he won this matchup last time. Good anchor in. Vulcan reasonably tanky, but cannot hit back for Aftershock. And it's a very heavy trade. Actually, gets all 5 stacks of plasma through, so big chunk from Gala.
Yeah, very big stuff there for the bottom side of the map. That ward we were talking about up by Krugs, though, doesn't get used because Inspired does not do the full clear natural with Nocturne, coming bottom side a little bit earlier. So might do that reverse after if there's no opportunities on bottom side.
I'm actually curious if you're going to try and punish Gala and Ming on bot side. Gala and Ming looking like they're trying to crash 4th wave here, and maybe you just try and get in there and actually have that sneaky gank in the early stages.
Yeah, and remember, it is the flash burned already on Nautilus, so that could be something they wanted to try and take advantage of, but Wei's coming in for that invade, and because that ward expired on Krugs, he knows that they are there. He passes, though, and the minions will see him.
Yep.
The minions pass by the opening by Krug, so now EG know he's there, and here they come for the dodge.
Versus 1, has oranges, no flash, barrel lands on 1, auto on to Ben. Here comes the taunt, here comes the TP as well, knock up, and a first blood comes through for RNG. Xiaohu drops turret aggro. Jojo Pion just here to grab farm.
Really intelligent stuff there from RNG. Yes, they don't see the jungler on the ward, so by process of elimination, they know they can have the extra person up on top side. They dive Impact. They
flash it through smite.
True
way.
That's some solid jungle brain right there, baby. Splash for that Scuttle Crab.
I mean, it's the mind games, right? Get in his face, say, no, this is my jungle. But yeah, I will say, I don't think that's the most worth play I've ever seen.
Hey, he's Jarvan. He can EQ. He doesn't need the flash.
MSI and Scuttle Crabs, okay?
Yeah, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but yeah.
We've got a long history of the importance of Scuttle Crabs at MSI, and Wei is going to live on in that tradition. Honestly, though, after already pulling off the successful gank onto top side, feels like he can, expend extra resources here. We'll see if that ends up being punished, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got top lane going in favor of RNG as well, but a massive advantage in that bot side as well. About 16 CS in favor of the RNG bot lane, just with the way that they've been able to trade back and forth and being able to crash that wave. So really nice job, at least at the moment, for both side lanes for RNG.
I do want to point out as well, since last MSI, this year we had to change the Scuttle Crabs, where they reduced the experience from the first ones 80%. So even lowering that value. But we shall see. Double Scuttle vision currently for RNG, because the bottom lane was also able to push up and move into the river.
And Danny's got to be careful in a 1v2. We'll have to dodge the anchor. Side steps to the right, gets away from it. Ming tries to protect. Obviously some decent damage coming through here.
Rage quits instantly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The timing on it is very comical, but obviously that was a remnant of the early start.
All right, so we're going to be okay here, but a 1,000 gold lead to RNG already. Still plenty of a bot wave to claim, so a solid 10 CS lead for Gala down here, 10 CS lead for Bin in the top lane as well, not to count the first blood on Wei himself. This is an amazing start for Royal Never Give Up.
Yeah, and I think the avenue in which it took place is the biggest thing. Bin has been very aggressive. Let's see about this Wei move on bottom, though.
Wei doesn't have his, so we cannot really guarantee much. This one, a sidestep is in. There's an ignite on as well. Cannot get the pull back on a Wei just yet, so it won't be a kill, but he can pull back on a Ming when he needs to. Gets a root onto one. Danny, though, forced to flash and heal, staying alive. A bit overplaying his hand.
Yeah, nice job from Wei to be able to get that play onto the bottom side of the map. I actually thought we'd see RNG playing a little bit more heavily towards the bots, or the top side even. That's kind of been where RNG, at least traditionally in MSI, have been putting their presence, but helping out Gal and Ming kind of extend that control they've had over this bottom lane.
It's going to be very interesting now, too, where RNG try and pressure next, because they got Bin the early lead in the matchup here versus Gangplank, which just makes it so much more smooth for the Gwen. And Bin should be very strong for basically the entire rest of the lane phase here in the 1v1. Now that he has his ultimate, has Ignite, can put that kill pressure on Impact, but Impact has the never mind, he doesn't anymore, his ultimate was just used. The possibility of covering cross-map plays, he has to use the ultimate there to push the wave.
Yeah, I was also going to say that RNG, as you can see in the minimap, have set up like a ton of vision control in this top side. It really does feel like they're kind of giving as much breadth as, or at least movement in that top side towards Bin to know exactly where Inspired is, how much freedom he has to go aggressive in this match.
A lot of crowd control. Ming's going to be here as well. When does Jojo Pyun flash? Finally gets away with 300 HP left as Ming shows up. A great CC chain puts Jojo Pyun low.
We're seeing the benefits of these bottom lane timers. Never mind.
Oh, wow. Nice jump back. Ming gets away from the slow. That might have been gankable. Obviously Inspired, not 6 yet, but maybe a flash follow could have worked out.
Yeah, exactly. The flash to get into range to get the Fear Tether off. But now that they saw him, Wei finishes up on this red counter jungle.
Flash over the wall, Inspired.
No,
get it back.
He doesn't have flash. I mean, he doesn't have smite. He doesn't have smite, so.
But he knows Wei's smite is small, but yeah, the timer's not going to be quite there. So Inspired already, just knows, can't get it. Nice job by Wei.
So much map control, though. I mean, so RNG, let's go over the checklist that they were able to get off early in this game that got them to this really secure mid-game stage. You gank top lane, so you win this Gwen Gangplank matchup really early for Bin. Then Xiaohu as well, being able to roam over there. Bottom lane winning by its own, moves up through the river. They get double Scuttle Crabs and get a mid lane gank off to burn the flash on Jojo, so this Corki has even less safety here. RNG have just put basically the entire map for EG on the defensive here. And so EG trying to continue to scale, wait through their cooldowns here, and avoid the next Gallia ult possibility here.
And it means that it's going to be really tough for them to try and get up towards his top side to contest the Rift Tower. You can see it's already started by Wei, especially with the push that Gal and Ming have on bot side. So instead, you can already see Inspired just going, right, hands off, we're just going to look to trade this for Dragon instead.
Yeah, this whole map for the early game, definitely the preference for RNG. It does mean the trade for Dragon, though, so Dragon number 1 will go to EG. RNG aren't going to be very worried about Dragon stacking, though, because they've got this early gold lead. They can very easily fight the next Dragon. They also have so much gold left to cash in with this Rift Herald and really open up that map so that they can get really high value out of their Xiaohu roams.
Yeah, and that's definitely been the way that RNG have tried to close out their games, right? Get these early leads and then look towards Soul. They have the fastest Soul time on average. They have a 40% Soul percent when you look at their games. Like, it is all about those late game dragons for RNG.
Yeah, they'll probably get there in a little bit. One thing I want to point out, actually, for 80 carries, getting First Dragon feels really, really good if you're in the precision tree, because you get a full
Legendary.
stack of what in your legendary is, which is like, I think like 3% attack speed. It's like, okay, this is going to be a really lot of damage and impact. Has to flash, gets away from R3, will barely stay alive. Ulti's up in a second, so we can clear the wave, and actually...
Inspired is coming with Nocturne Ultimate to cover.
Yeah.
But is that going to be enough? Now, if you pop Nocturne Ultimate, you can still Galio Ultimate if you're very, very quick about it.
3v1 though, as Waze on the way over as well. Won't kill the turret just yet, but it's getting lower and lower impact, trying to heal back up. Pulls in the TP, pulls in the team. Will it be enough? Huge damage. Inspired TPs flash the way. Way knocks him down and gets out with it. Beautifully done. RNG crush the top side.
And we're not over yet. We might be looking at another one. Bane is pushing the wave in. Impact and Jojo Pure have nowhere to go.
Oh, this is good. The Herald's going to be there to tank the turret forever. We know
Look,
Impact's
Ming's
low.
coming too. It's going to be 4 RNG.
This is going to be enough. Ben's going to come in. Gallion to the side. Will not find much just yet. Here's the crash. Under damage towards Impact. Doesn't kill him yet. Corky's down for 1. Impact going to follow as well. Just beautifully dancing the aggro back and forth. And Royal never give up. Just slaughtering evil geniuses.
Oh, it's a massacre, Freak. Top die over and over and over on the side of EG. RNG are relentless up here. Way with the early gank. Come back again for the dive. Has Rift Herald this time as well. Xiaohu and even bring up Ming for good measure in case anything went wrong. Ming was coming to clean up the pieces. Absolute stomp here in the early game. Let's take a look at it. Xiaohu with Predator on. Blast Cone's over. They see Inspired, but they aren't too wary of it. They don't draw tower aggro, so they're able to, even in this Nocturne Ultimate, walk to the edge of that tower, and then they burst down Inspired. Wei only has to take a shot or two there before flashing out, and then they can repeat dive.
Yeah, and this is where it just gets set up beautifully as well. You have the Rift Herald there to get the charge off. Bin just walks in close enough to set up Xiaohu for the dive, which means Impact has to leave the safety of his turret. You get Jojo Pyun is stuck as well. And from that, they just juggle the aggro super well.
I like how they wait and layer their CCs too, because Jarvan EQ is probably the only missable one. So they wait for the taunt to land there, then layer it over with the EQ from Jarvan. They pick up the kill under tower, also chasing Impact to the other side and pick up that other kill. Just a very clean tower dive from RNG. They did not take any unnecessary turret shots, especially in the first run, the first part of that dive. You know, kiting out to the top side, just outside of range. Really, really clean repeat tower dives there.
Yeah, and even at the beginning of that as well, you could see Inspired had his spell shield. He was like, oh, okay, I'm fine to try and get this tether onto Xiaohu, but you actually end up, I think it was Bane who ended up popping the spell shield early, so then the taunt from Xiaohu hits. It's all just very well coordinated, and that's why it's so terrifying playing against RNG with things like the Galio, because they're so good at these dives, and it's things we've seen over and over again in the LPL.
And Doctor, that's why I was so scared about that last pick. I was like, whoa, you're going to go scaling versus RNG? They're going to have so much playmaking opportunity early. They're taking advantage of it, Freak. Though you can still bank on, all right, just tell everybody.
We're scaling!
Exactly.
We're scaling!
The solo queue classic. Just tell all your teammates, don't worry about it. We scale it, we scale it, we scale it for late.
Yeah, but I'm glad you brought up the coordination, though, because just even in that fight, it's indicative of the entire series and these teams overall. The coordination of RNG is just so much better. I mean, they've been playing together for a while. Like, almost all of them won MSI together last time around, right? Like, Ben's the only really new face here for the most part. And on the EG side, like, Inspired went in before the TP was done. Like, he actually just, like, goes on a Galio in an actual 2v3, and it's like, well, you can wait till they pull aggro. Like, you can wait till Corky shows up, right? Just there's these little misfires where those mistakes really matter.
Yeah, you can tell that the defending MSI champions are much more calm on stage in the beginning of this, with especially these tower dives, where those are very exciting and intense situations when you're facing imminent life and death on the top side of the map. And RNG definitely a lot more calm in it. Meanwhile, speaking of calm, the bottom side of the map, Gala down there, they have consistently been pushing in and being able to roam up through the river. We mentioned Ming even getting all these roam timers, not just towards mid, but also towards top.
Yeah, and it's given them a ton of control over river, and this is one of the things that when you leave Gala and Ming alone in this matchup, they can be so oppressive to deal with, and you're starting to see it. But it is kind of interesting kind of going back to that conversation of like how the trust in RNG functions, because they always talk about, you know, Xiaohu and Ming as mom and dad. So as long as you have like Xiaohu kind of being there, it's like, come on kids, we're going to school, it's in the top lane, let's go. It always seems to kind of work out for them.
Yeah, Xiaohu seems like such an amazing, you know, in-game leader, kind of comforting father figure to have on the team. Well, he's been on the team for 6 years with RNG. To me, Xiaohu is now the most iconic RNG player, even though so many people think of Uzi.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like people always look to him as like the Emperor of Spring, right? Whereas like, oh, you know, this guy is gonna have his fun while Uzi's away. Then Uzi comes back, he goes back in his cage of feeding Uzi. And it's just like you don't get to play, but it's actually kind of become a bit of a kind of a title that he's appreciated now because he has won, you know, this spring, last spring as well in the LPL, MSI last year, but.
And they're going to find the first little bit of a slow. He's going to be net. The fear is on GP ult as well. They're trying to burn down Ben. He's getting the damage across, though. Just Drain takes the one, and reinforcements have arrived. Impact, you are going to fall, my friend. Just let Ben get another kill. 3 on the board for the Gwen.
Gwen is a silly champion.
This is definitely why you gank for the Gwen early too, so you can get her accelerated to these power points, because this is a scaling champion, and everyone always talking about how OP the champion is talking about 1 item, 2 item, you know, Gwen that really does scale incredibly well. And if you feed all of these early kills into it, this is a dream scenario. Remember, they also got so many of these turret plates shared, you know, with Bin on the top side of the map, so you can 2v1 like this. Really good miss there to immune Impact's barrel chain. So these small things where you're dashing to the edge of the mist and make yourself immune. You're stacking up Conqueror the entire time, trying to get the middle of that Q, and the snip is just too strong.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You're talking about like scaling damage on Gwen, but you look across at Impact, right? Like you can see those barrel chains aren't really hitting hard at the moment, and especially when they end up missed because the hollow missed. So it is a little bit unfortunate.
If they get immune, they do not hit hard at all. What the hell, man?
I mean, who would have thought us?
And as you called out, Dragon stacking not a concern for RNG because they get the second one, not a problem at all. On the way to Infernal Rift, Impact just kind of taking the L side of any matchup and just clearing the way, hoping to stay alive. 5,500 gold lead as we crest 14 minutes. Turret plates fall, and RNG are absurdly ahead.
Yeah, and as you look forward, you expect them to stay absurdly ahead for, you know, a good another 15 minutes here. Their goals for RNG is to now rotate around the map, take down the last of these outer turrets, so that they can take over jungle, and then with the support of a Galio ultimate, you can just keep on taking resources from evil geniuses. We will note that there are objective bounties up. That is just indicative of how far behind EG are. The earliest that those can turn on is 14 minutes, by the way, and they turn on at 14 minutes. So just saying, the game is telling you how far ahead
we're scaling
RNG are, and when the game is telling you at the earliest possible time, yeah, you definitely know there's a lot of work to be done there for EG, but their plan does now remain the same. Is try and stem the bleeding, get as much income as you can while not giving up, you know, further deaths to RNG. Sometimes, though, you know, you can even make these plays where you sacrifice someone to hard push a side lane in order to just get, you know, die for a tower is now actually worth it if you're able to get that.
See if they can, because getting access to those lanes is going to be a tough sell right now. Galio shoving out top right now. Impact got to push in bottom lane, but then left before he even crossed the river. Right now, EG knows that they have to be afraid of Wei and Xiaohu killing anyone they want.
Yeah, we probably have a decent amount of time to talk about, you know, personal strategies when you are behind like this. So one thing that you can try and use against RNG, the fact that RNG owns so much of the map and they're going to try and play so much of it to increase the amount of resources that they're going to get over you. As the defending team, you can try and overload just one side. You know, you're not going to be able to cover the entire map defensively because you'll get outgunned with all the extra money. So you do have Nocturne. If you make a Nocturne play with multiple members and just overload one side of the map, then maybe you can start to get kills and bounties back in. Yes, you're going to give up the other side of the map, but as the team that's behind, to me, it is always worth it to try and focus your efforts on just one area for a counterattack.
Spidey senses Impact. Oh, the anchor's going to land. Nocturne may try to show up, but will it even be enough? Knocked into the air. Impact knocked up again. Oranges auto to death. They're going to try now for the other side of the dive here. 4 versus 2. Overload the right-hand side, and they're on the board. A shutdown comes to Jojo Puppet. Here's the taunt. and they're going to start slaughtering. One's down already. Danny locked in place. Feathers fly. He's going to flee. Gala comes in. It's going to be blocked, and barely EG don't lose more, but still, advantage RNG.
And it was a right call from EG to try and make some sort of play on the bottom side, but unfortunately, you just have Xiaohu with the TP to try and come down, and I think they were just a little bit early on trying to pull this play off. When you look at like the state of the map, right, you're going to Dragon in 2 minutes, Rift Herald is coming up at about the same time. If you kind of held on to these big ultimates and big plays until you had both objectives on the map, maybe you can try and trade sides, but now you're just giving more across to RNG.
I would say, to be fair, if they held on to anything, Impact would just die there for free, and he's just dead. So EG are trying to bail out Impact here. As you can see, they do have a ward on Wei, and so then they see Ming pop over. They're like, oh no, Impact, get out of there! Get out of there now! And he tries to escape up the lane. But the attempt at the cover here as the Nocturne ultimate comes down, and everybody you can see on the minimap trying to come over. They see this as a deep dive by RNG to then try and get something back, but we're already back to live.
Slams to the ground. That's going to be Danny 6 feet under. A stopwatch for Vulcan will not keep him alive. That is just a rune missing now. Mid lane out is going to drop. The gold lead grows and grows, and this is maybe an entire inhibitor, by the way. There's only been one recorded competitive loss of a team who killed an inhibitor pre-20 minutes, and it was a Giga throw. It always wins if you kill an inhibitor pre-20, basically.
I mean, look, we'll have to see. At least it'll get a charge onto the turret, but it looks like they're going to back away. And I think this is kind of the right call, as you say. Like, RNG just wanted to try and play the map. 50 seconds till the Dragon. And, I mean, with Mythics across the board, a second item as well for Gala now, it just feels like it's impossible for EG to try and contest this.
Okay, deep breath.
Yeah, you don't contest that. You go top lane, you're like, there's a bounty over there. Yar!
Yeah, let's go down the list here. Looks like the biggest bounty is on Gwen. Gwen's pretty hard to kill, though.
The top turret, the bounty is about as high as Gwen's bounty. You just go there instead and you hope. Joji depends on the way. I want to see, Leona's shouting up that way, Nocturne's on that side of the jungle. Like, you get 700 gold, 750 or more if the bounty's scaled. That's straight for the Dragon. Like, that's always the hope here. And you can see 4 members topside.
Honestly, yeah, try and plunge the map into chaos here is your goal when you're behind and you're trying to scale. So
look at this.
Here is the overload on top side. They aren't actually going to get anybody, but the timing is there, and that is consistent, right? They know the Dragon is up, so there will at least be some members of RNG on the other side of the map. And they're fishing around for top side to try and get a comeback play.
Yeah, it's really hard though when you look at the immense vision RNG having that top side, right? Like the entire river is just littered with wards, so Bin knows at the moment that he's totally fine. No one's going to be going for that gank, even have Ming up there to try and cover. So at least you can see RNG are in position to make sure that you're going to be okay to stop the cross map.
Yeah, sometimes the only safe path is to go for these lane ganks where you just go through lane where you know your minions are, and there's least likely wards, and then hide in the brush and wait for your opportunity that way, because as you're saying, if you go through any neutral territory, it's very likely RNG already have it warded and you'll be seen.
Just the farm taken, and it's cannon wave, so you're going to lose. Generally speaking, anytime there's a cannon wave and you're like showing up at all, you lose at most of a melee minion, then the cannon takes aggro and you get there. So here we are. Bin can show up quote unquote late to the lane. Not really even late. Drops at most 1 CS, gets the entire thing. Good job. 196 CS, 215 on Gala, by the way.
Also, it's just 2-item Gwen pre-20 minutes. To me, it's just, I'm so fearful.
I'm real sorry, guys.
It's okay. We rip off the first game like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
You know,
okay, perfect.
Refocus mental.
Yeah, honestly, I think really in this game, hold on, they're gonna fight, so I have to take myself a second. I was gonna.
Okay.
Yeah,
prepare yourself.
We're setting ourselves around Baron. It's 20 minutes on. EG really hoped this was T1 on the opposing side, but no, RNG gonna play the Baron setup pretty well. Pretty safely. Spell shield on Ming's Q.
And
Gala some poke.
Look at the split push, too. I like this call from EG because they're trying to poke around Baron while sending Impact bottom, but looks like the recall from Impact is coming off, so they're just going to all-in 5v5.
Ming might have to flash this one, got to get rooted in place. Here comes the dive. Will it be enough? Knock going to come across. Ming stays alive, and down goes Nocturne. 1 for 0 so far. TV coming in for the gangplank. Will it be enough? Bin dropped a bit low. Just onto 3. Here comes Galio, and it's going to be everyone immuning it, but gangplank's already dead. Vulcan might be next. Here comes Xiaohu. Here comes Gala, and he's been invited to the ball. A double kill, absolutely beautiful. A triple for the man, and that's going to mean Baron comes through.
Are you kidding me? RNG, they keep getting each low health member cycled out of the team fight. First, they cover for Ming, get him out of there. Then Bin used the mist, and they had to get him back out. Here's the Hail Mary steal from JoJo. Can he do it? Big one
rocket.
down.
He's going to hook the package. It's going to be smoked. Well played. He's going to flash to safety. A nice valiant effort. Nah, Ben's going to be fine. Jojo Piana attempts it, but a good smite by Way.
I mean, I actually think EG played that fight incredibly well. The fact it was as close as it was, given the goal difference, just kind of says a lot about that. You can see here, right, like Jojo Pyun trying to poke away, and they actually do a pretty good job of trying to split up RNG and like find space for the backline of EG. And, like Nautis goes in here, we kind of get this back off once more, so you're constantly playing at range in these fights and not allowing like Gala, the short range, to get involved in this equation.
Yeah, it was so cool how when Ming goes in and he's low health, then all of a sudden, Xiaohu and Bin both step up to each side of him and peel for him and allow him to get out. And then Bin has no more cooldown, so then they make an avenue for Bin to get out. And Wei goes in, being the front line. They just keep rotating their front line over, and that's how RNG get out of this without dropping anyone. Then Jojo knows our only hope is around Baron. Maybe we can get a steal with the tick damage. Maybe Wei panic smites and gets it low, or maybe they can hope for some Baron regeneration. I know they on live took the level up out of the game for Baron, at least delaying it 30 seconds if it's being attacked.
And even still, he could have smited during the team fight, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a totally reasonable chance that he just doesn't have smite at all, and then, hey, it's a 30-70, but like I might tick it. So yeah, the best chance you could have made, obviously RNG, a class above so far in this game.
Honestly, if Bin didn't have the hollowed mist, I wasn't sure he just wasn't going to start murdering people in that pit. Like, they were very low after that fight, but now RNG on the bottom tower, and EG will have to back away.
They certainly will.
yeah, that turret's going down. You saw Ming try. You saw a shield barely get broken. Wei pretty much just immune to Gangplank barrels right now. His Impact hopes to get to a second and third item, but game's probably not going to go that long. Looking at probably sub 30, it would be a miracle of a comeback, a 13,000 gold difference. Okay, 12K. I'll try not to round up. Sorry, it's closer than I said it was going to be, but we're on the way to Azonius here for Bin, and obviously Xiaohu has just been pretty outstanding. 2-0-9 on him. Gala 5-0, and we're looking for a bit more.
Yeah, that's the super scary thing too. Gala in that last fight picked up so many of the last hits. This is an incredibly rich Gala Kaisa at the moment as well, and he's ready to dive in. So the next dive from RNG, they certainly have the money to pull it off even inside the EG base under tower fire.
Don't worry, Gala has never had any game-defining plays on Kaisa, so we'll be all right. We'll be okay. Yeah,
Definitely uncomfortable with this pick.
to be fair, I feel like the game has already been defined.
It's in the dictionary. There are no alternate definitions. It's like, this is the game.
Yeah.
RNG finding the third dragon.
Obviously, an incredible opening here for RNG. And we can refocus on the fact that this is a best of 5. RNG looking very well situated here to clean it up. EG are going to try and scale. You know, they have some poke damage, but opening up game number 1 with no real like crazy picks in the best of 5, I do expect there to be some very interesting champion options that do come up, because anything you've been hiding in the tournament has to come out now for EG.
Kobe, I can sum up your point on RNG, which is that I am not surprised by how well they have played in this match right now.
Where's the graphic?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I gotta hit the button again. All right, apparently I don't know how to do this. There was supposed to be a scare price graphic. We'll try again in game 2, and we'll try again. But Jojo Pyun gonna get taunted into place, rooted in place, and just dies. The killing spree here for Xiaohu, and they're gonna try to maybe turn them around, but this is gonna be Inspired dropping as well. A flash to safety. Nah, Wei's gonna EQ, flash R, dunk, and set up for a little bit more. Already 3 kills have been found. Danny's on the way out. Bin would love to find the 4th kill. The team fight won't quite get it here, but the middle inhibitor is gonna drop.
I mean, RNG now starting to put their foot on the pedal. You got Wave and topside here as well, so they're just going to rotate over and pick up that one. With only 2 members of EG here, this is going to be a very difficult hold.
Gonna try, but it's not gonna be enough here. 10 seconds of the respawns for many of them. Double inhibitor gonna drop. We'll see if they play for the Nexus itself. Still 2 minutes on Baron's, not much else to play for. They're playing inside the base for sure. This is gonna be the look at any of the game. Almost through for Xiaohu. In waves go down. RNG will indeed take one more shopping trip, spend about, I would say, about 1.5K per person, and then go again.
I do like this move as well, and we can tell, we've been talking this whole game, how RNG, the veterans, have really been showing their composure on stage here. You know, they were never rushed, even in early tower dives. They never felt pressure. They always waited just until the right moment here. And now that they're so far ahead, in a best of 5, sometimes it does help the mental game to let that sink in on your opponents, you know, make them wait, make them sweat in base, and just realize how far behind you are. You're trying to destroy them for the rest of the series as well. Just let that sit in, and you kind of build up this aura of invincibility. You know, EG already know that they're the underdogs, but if you make them sit there and feel how far behind they are in this game, then sometimes you can get them to play even more scared in the next game.
Yeah, oh, hold on, we got a fight going on right now. They're gonna find that first taunt. Vulcan, they're gonna have a hard time getting away from this one. There we go, attacks come in. Gala is godlike, and we're gonna find the next little bit pretty soon. JoJoPen able to get away, burning his Flash and Valkyrie.
Yeah, I mean, look, I definitely agree with the whole kind of try to break the mental, but I feel like if there's one person that you can't break the mental of, it's JoJoPen. Like, no matter how hard you try. I mean, what was his tweet earlier today? It was like, I'm sending
Xiaohu back to top lane.
Yeah.
After this game, he'll tweet another trash talk tweet.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
I'm ready.
All right, well, final inhibitor to drop right now. We are 27 minutes into the game, but we've got maybe the chance to dive. A good package, a lot of damage here. He'll burn down. He'll actually die just a death's dance, but the G will keep him up for now. Inspired. Tries to buy some time, but Gala's on the way, then dives the backline. Looks for kill number 2 and 3. It's already just EG dropping. Their lair has been found. They've been evicted. It's burning to the ground, and that's going to be game 1 going to RNG.
Yeah, Inspired has to watch on from outside as his house gets taken. Gala flashes, but the Nexus falls.
Beautifully played. Definitely a cut above here in game 1. Expectation was that